Okay, coaches, Mike Kuchar at www.xandolabs.com. We're going to talk you through some of these Cram concepts from Southwest Minnesota State, some of the Cram principles that they implemented in their inside zone scheme. Our special thanks goes out to Coach Jeremy Darvo, the offensive line coach, and also Coach Evan Eastburn, the running back coach over there. Both Coach Eastburn and Darvo did a terrific job putting together this clinic report on what they tell the back on the inside zone scheme. And just want to remind you, coaches, this is all part of the larger special report on blocking the inside zone scheme, which can be found at www.xandolabs.com and by clicking the Insider Membership Program. So we're going to take you through this right now. This is we talked about how they're detailing fronts and how they're identifying fronts. We're going to get the zone going this way to the play side. Here you have a 3 technique over here. Okay, coach talked about reading the triangle in the box. Now, this player is not counted as a box defender, so the triangle right now for the running back is going to be right here. Okay, with the emphasis being on that backside defensive tackle. It's a little different. We haven't heard a lot of things like that. Most coaches will talk about the inside zone naturally winding back. Okay, but coach will talk about reading that defender, okay, as the progression of the play continues. And these are all end zone shots, coaches, to get you a better feel of what you're looking at. Okay, now the center's not going to be involved. The center's going to work play side. He's on the mic. That's the count. He's working up to the mic. The play side guard is, of course, taking the 3 technique. The play side tackle, okay, is taking the wide 5 technique. This is the key block right here. Okay, coach talked about whether or not he could get this defender reach. It's very hard to get that defender reach. In this case, it's pretty good footwork. Okay, taking on that 2-eye technique. If he could get him sealed off right now, the ball's going to hit in the A-gap. Okay, if he cannot get him sealed off, he's just going to knock him on the angle that he's on, and the back's going to work off. Southwest Minnesota State is a zone read team, so a lot of times they're going to hold the backside end for the quarterback on the read scheme. Okay, right now, since there's 5 in the box, that tackle is just going to make a lock call, and he's going to stay on that 5 technique. And right here, you just get what you want. If that nose decides to take the A-gap, well, the play side guard's going to knock him on the angle he's on. Okay, and you have the open cut back here for the back. Okay, got a 3-2 box now. Okay, when coach detailed a 3-2 box or a 4-2 box, now the read is going to be the square. Okay, so right now the running back's going to read the square. Okay, pre-snap. Now he knows that his trigger point right now, or his indicator, is going to be the 0 nose. Now that's different. Okay, some teams will push it front side. What Southwest Minnesota State does, and they were 17th in the country this year in Division II in rushing, is they're going to read that shade. Okay, so they're going to do a good job of having that center stay on the shade, and they're going to cut off that shade. Whatever he does is wrong. Okay, so we're working. See the center working the count system up to that mic. Okay, right now they're going to leave that player unblocked. The tackle is going to work up to the bubble linebacker here. Okay, that guard is just going to knock that nose on the angle that he's on. Okay, get terrific push right here. Okay, the tackle is able to climb on the backside linebacker. Okay, the running back should see color here. If the color shows up there, he's going to force an arm tackle with this defender who should be playing a quarterback anyway. Of course, you got a back like that with good footwork, it does help. Get this to the beginning. Okay, another odd front there. There's a square. Okay, working off the square right here for the back. Okay, center's got a 0 nose. He's going to take him. Guard's going to work up to the bubble linebacker. Right now, that's the read. Once that nose declares that he's a frontside A-gap player, okay, the key coaching point in this, and Coach Eastburn, the running back coach, talked a lot about this, is chasing the hip, okay, of the blocker that's blocking the read. So here's the center. Okay, he's blocking the read. They're going to chase that hip. It's an open crossover plant. And you see right now, okay, that tackle does a good job of cutting off that 5 technique. Got a good entry point. And that's a key block too with that tackle. I mean, that tackle has to make sure that he's cutting off that backside. Okay, some coaches call it a sift or whatever. Right now, Southwest decides to have that tight end in there. Okay, but a good job working those hips. And, Coach Darvo, the offensive line coach there, details the actual blocking progression that he uses with his players every day in the full-length clinic report, which you could find by becoming a member of the Insider program at X&O Labs. Another good shot here. Okay, you got a 3-2 box. Okay, so right now, there's a square. Okay, running back's going to read the square. You have a zero technique nose. Okay, so the center's is a solid block for that nose. The guard's going to combo front side. He's an open gap player. Whatever that nose does, he's wrong. Okay, the back's going to cut off that nose. He's going to press the hip of that center to make a decision. Okay, so right now there's the open and crossover plant steps. It's a 5-man box. That tackle's going to lock on. It's a one-hand read, which is documented in the full-length clinic report, the special report on inside zone play. Okay, so right now it looks like that nose is going to hold the backside A-gap. Okay, all that guard needs to do is knock him on the angle he's on. Okay, and this tackle is going to work to sift and get to the front side back. And again, I did mention some teams will like to, if there's 5 in a box, they'll just block solid and they won't have a read principle. Southwest Minnesota State does a good job with their read principle. Okay, they're going to make sure that they work up to the bubble linebacker. Great cutback. And very hard running. Okay, now we got an odd front with a closed tight end. Okay, now we have pressure. And one of the good things about this is that, Coach talked about it negating pressure. So right now, that nose is working automatically to the front side A-gap. Okay, he has declared that. Okay, he is going to chase, the running back's going to chase the hip of the center. He knows that the A-gap is gone to the front side. Okay, now his eyes go in the clear A-gap here, the backside. That guard's working to the bubble linebacker. That tackle has to work to cut off that 5 technique. I mean, and that's what happens when you do it right. You have a wide open seam right here to take advantage of. I mean, it's a good answer for teams that want to run the inside zone, and you're just forcing that automatic cutback. I mean, technically, this is almost like it's a 4-man box. This player's removed out here. Okay, it would be a triangle read for that back because it could be considered to be an odd front. All that center has to do, I mean, this is just like stealing right now. All that center's got to do is knock that nose on the angle he's on. Okay, this guard is climbing right here. There's nobody in that backside A-gap. A 3-2 box. Okay. There's a square. Excuse me, coach, is not the best square. Okay, we're working play side. The center's got a zero technique. He's going to take him. The back's going to chase the backside hip. Okay, that's center. Okay, guard's climbing to the bubble linebacker, which he does right now. He's going to seal him off. There's that front side. The backside A-gap is right there. Back's going to take it. Odd front again. 3-2 box. Okay, center's going to work. And again, you're not front. A lot of times, that backside nose is going to play the backside A-gap, or you play the front side A-gap. It could be a slant. It could be a post-snap movement. It could be just a 2-gapper. Okay, that's something you have to decipher. But right now, that center's working on that nose. Okay, pretty good job splitting it by that nose. All right, but again, okay, that backside guard is going to work the angle that he's on. Okay, so right now, okay, this player, the left guard, is now blocking the read. Okay, he is blocking the read, so he's going to chase the backside hip or the inside hip of that guard. Okay, and he's going to make that cut off that. Now, this tackle is going to work to the bubble linebacker. Again, they're going to leave the 5 technique as a read key. And no matter what you're doing there, I mean, that's going to be a one-arm tackle. This back just got to cut it back, and we got something going on here backside. Okay, odd front, 3-2 box, center's on the 0 nose. Okay, nose declares he's on the front side. Now the back's going to chase the hip of the backside guard. Okay, now this is where you may get into issues. You have a zone pressure, looks like coming from the boundary, or some type of pressure where you're going to get that spike technique. Okay, so that tackle may not be able to seal off that backside 5 technique. It would not be a problem. Okay, because now the vision is going to change for the back. Okay, once he sees that color has now shown into that gap, he's going to jump cut it. Okay, and try to get as much as he can and force this player right here, okay, to make an arm tackle. And he misses. Coaches, we appreciate you logging in. And again, our special thanks goes out to Coach Jeremy Darvo, the offensive line coach, and as well as Coach Evan Eastburn, running backs coach at Southwest Minnesota State. We just wanted to show you some of the things they're doing with their inside zone scheme. This is more of a scheme piece. If you want to find out the drills that they do that supplement the backside wash technique, okay, which they do a good job of backside to make sure that happens on a cutback and inside zone, you can become a member of the Insiders at www.xandolabs.com. Coaches, thanks for logging in.